Internet, it's the Who Gaming here, and we're back with another Quest TCG video. I wanted to start this off by saying that I am very, very sorry for not being able to upload a Quest TCG video for a very long time. As I've said in previous videos, I've been dealing with my senior year of high school, which does take up quite a large portion of my time. Plus, I have a lot of other projects I'm working on for YouTube right now, so there's a lot of things that will hopefully be coming to my channel pretty soon. But I have not stopped working on cards. I wanted to get that across. I have still been doing cards, working on cards, and I wanted to do, I got a little bit done, so I have enough to really justify doing a sort of update video. Today I'm going to showcase the new archetype that you have seen a few speed arts of, that will form the basis of one of the first starter decks for the game. We also have the two starter decks are going to use the two new archetypes, the Bionoids, which are a sort of sci-fi-esque, animal sort of machine hybrid things, and then the Spectres, which are sort of the polar opposite. You go from like the science and sort of like hyper advanced sort of thing to the sort of mythological sort of the occult, so just you guys can get a little bit of a look at my really crappy system here, how I sort all of my cards. But over here we have the starter deck for the Bionoids here, and as you can see there are a decent amount of cards here. We're going to try and go over the majority of them, and I might even touch on the lore of these cards a little bit, because there is a pretty large lore. The basis of it is that a country in this fictional world developed these as weapons, and then they gained their sentience, and led by Drake, this guy here, and another Bionoid who is now deceased, led a revolution and freed the Bionoids from this country's grasp, like they were free. So that's really cool. That's a really cool bit of lore, and as you can see, probably pretty obviously, that there are now going to be full art cards, which is a pretty cool thing, I think. These are going to be, at least for now, there's one for each starter deck, and for now I think they're going to be exclusive to the starter decks. The card itself, you will be able to get all of these cards in set 2, but aside from just getting them all together automatically with the starter deck, you'll also get these full art cards as incentive. So let's cut to the chase and get right into this. I just want you guys to know that by no means is this all of the Bionoid cards that will be in the starter deck. There are a few more that I have yet to finish. Two more Bionoids themselves, and one more Armament card, and plus I still don't even have the castles here yet. So we're gonna start here with this card here, the Bio Chip, which is, I know this one's not exactly my favorite, it's not my best art, let's say. Let's go with that. This is the Bio Chip, and it's sort of the basis for this archetype. Unless you're running a completely Bionoid deck, then it doesn't really matter. But this is a really nice way to integrate Bionoids into other decks that you might want to run. It is a sorcery card, and I think this is one of the few sorcery cards in the game. They're sort of our version of magic cards or spell cards or whatever. So this is, like I said, this is the Bio Chip, and the ability is the ability states: send one warrior/summoner on your field to the void to conjure one Bionoid warrior or summoner from your hand, arsenal, or void. So it's nice. You can use this in Bionoid specific decks, because you can send one Bionoid to the void to conjure another one, something more powerful. But it's really nice for integrating Bionoids into other decks, because you can just sort of send them, it's really easy. It makes it easy to get your Bionoids out in a deck that isn't specifically catered to them. Now, this is the first, a lot of these, I think all of these here, yeah, you have seen speed arts of, I believe. So we'll start with the first Bionoid I made. This is Bionoid Bat. Now, Bionoid Bat is, he's got 2,500 damage and 2,000 health, which is really actually pretty good. These are all machine class warriors, by the way. His ability states: if this card is vanquished and sent to the void, you may conjure one Bionoid card from your hand, arsenal, or void onto the field. Now, all of these abilities are sort of based on their animal. And this is sort of, man, I can't even remember. Like, I made these all so long ago. Sent to the void, yeah. So it's like almost like calling in reinforcements. He's sort of, it's like a swarm of bats. I don't know. So they all have sort of, all of their abilities sort of relate to their base animal, which is really cool, I think. And this deck is really based on swarming the field. What's different about this and the Spectres, they're sort of polar opposites, because the Bionoids they base themselves around getting warriors onto the field and swarming your opponent with high damage dealing warriors. But the Spectres actually work from the graveyard. They are, or not the graveyard, the void. Switching to Yu-Gi-Oh terms here. That's because of another project I'm working on. But they revolve around the void and bringing things back from the void. So they're sort of polar opposites. No matter how, it's sort of like they counter each other, because the Bionoids can bring things from the deck out to swamp the Spectres pretty quickly, and then the Spectres can just bring those things back from the void, which is really cool. Now, the second Bionoid that I made is Bionoid Panther. Now, I think I kind of tried to go with a really cool, pose here, and it didn't really end up as exactly as I wanted it to, but regardless, it still ended up looking pretty good. Also, another thing that I forgot to mention, another archetypal trait. I hope you can see a lot of the traits that are sort of go throughout the archetype. They all have like tubes and stuff, and they all have at least one of their arms is a blade, which I like having these things that are sort of uniform around an archetype. Like an archetype all has this sort of thing. They all have these little life bars too here, like the battery meters almost, and a heart rate monitor. So there's a few things that are sort of always present, and the majority of them also have this little bit down here with like rocket boots and stuff. So I really like stuff like that sort of unifies the archetype. Now here with Panther, you can see all the tubes and stuff, and then the heart rate meter and the battery meters and stuff like that. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Now, Bionoid Panther, he has 1800 damage and 2100 health, and his ability states, if you control no warriors and your opponent declares an attack on one of your castles, you may discard this card to the void to halt the attack. So it's sort of like if your opponent is trying to attack your castles when you have nothing on the field, you just send him to the void and their attack is negated and it's over. Okay, so that's cool. It's sort of like he's pouncing into battle. That's sort of what it's supposed to be. Like I said, they all sort of relate to their base animal. And then we have Bionoid Gorilla. He's sort of your tanky warrior. He has 2,000 damage and 3,000 health. And then once per turn, during your turn, you may discard a card to the void to swap this card's damage and health until the end of the turn. So this is really cool. It's sort of like he's going on in his rage mode, or sort of like letting out his beast. I sort of imagine it sort of like Winston from Overwatch. His ultimate is oh god, what's it called? I just call it Mad Monkey. He sort of goes into this raging beast sort of mode. And that's really what it's supposed to be. So you'll have a 3,000 damage beater just on your field to really destroy pretty much anything your opponent could throw at you. Yeah, so that's about it for Gorilla. And then over here we have Serpent. Now Serpent, he's pretty weak, but his ability is what makes up for it. He's only got 700 damage and 1,000 health, so he's pretty easy to take out. He's pretty weak. But his ability states you may send this warrior to the void to conjure one Bionoid warrior from your hand, arsenal, or void. This is really helpful, especially if you have something, it's really helpful for getting out your high damage beaters. It's really nice for getting them on the field so that you can do some damage with them. But how this relates to his animal is it's sort of like the snake is shedding its skin to become one of these other Bionoids, and I think that's pretty cool. I really do like stuff like that where I'm keeping a lot of the things the same. I hope you guys like that and don't find it I hope you don't find it annoying or anything. Now, Bionoid Shark here, I think this is definitely my favorite design-wise out of the bunch. I really like the blue and the ocean background back there. I think that just looks so cool. And I was really proud of this one. I think you can very easily tell that he's a shark, even like It's one of the few that, like, a lot of the other ones, it's sort of questionable, but this one I think it's like, yep, that's a shark. It's got the, it's got a lot of different sharp angular features that I really like in the design. But he's got 2,200 damage and 1,000 health, so he's pretty easy to take out, but he can deal a lot of damage in the short time that he's out. Now, his ability states that he can attack past any card in the barricade zone. This is really helpful because one of the biggest ways that I've learned from playtesting the game to pretty much stop your opponent from doing pretty much anything is putting a high level or a high health warrior into the barricade zone. Then you really just can't do it. Your opponent can't do anything. But Shark sort of bypasses that and can sort of just like, nope, that doesn't affect me whatsoever. Yeah, sure, keep going with that. And it's sort of like, to keep with the theme that they all relate to their animal, it's like he's diving under the water, sort of situation. And then Bionoid Toad is our last of the ones that you've seen speed arts for. I kind of like his idea to his design too, and the idea behind him too. But a lot of people have told me that he looks like a gecko, and I can't deny it. He sort of looks like a gecko or some kind of lizard with frog toes, but I still think his design is pretty good. He's got 1,600 damage and 2,100 health, so he's a little bit hard. He's a little bit tanky in the when it comes to health, so that's pretty nice. And once per turn, you may send one warrior / creature / summoner, so pretty much anything that you can play on the field, from your hand or field to the void and draw a card. This is really helpful. This is really helpful. Drawing a card is always helpful in Quest because it's just really nice to get cards out really quickly. And this is sort of like he's a toad with sticky fingers, sort of situation. That's kind of cool, I guess. I really like all of the Bionoid creatures that are in the game so far. I think they really all sort of have this unique sort of vibe. They all sort of seem almost like Power Rangers. That's what I really liked about them. That's sort of what I was going for with them. And finally, this is the boss sort of the creature warrior, of the Bionoids. This is Bionoid Drake. Now, Bionoid Drake was, like I said, was one of the Bionoids who led the revolution. He's suffered a bit of damage, as you can see from like the eye bit here. I really like his design. Maybe it's because I really like dragons and stuff, and I really like the full art aspect of it. But I really like the design for his head here. I really think that came out looking really good. Like you can see, he has a lot of the different aspects that a lot of the others had. He has the tubes, he has the heart rate, he has a lot of all the cool stuff. But he also has this giant dragon tail, which I think looks sweet. He's got 3,000 damage and 2,800 health. And once per turn, you may discard one Bionoid's warrior / summoner to the void to halt this card's demise, which pretty much means he can sacrifice his comrades to save himself, which just sort of relates to the lore of his character, because the two Bionoids that really led the revolution was Drake and Garuda. Now, afterwards, Drake and Garuda got into an altercation sort of situation over what direction the Bionoids should take, and Drake ended up killing Garuda. So it's sort of he always regretted it. It's like there was sort of like a best friend situation, but in the heat of the moment, they got into a fight and Drake won. It's sort of one of those things that he's always trying to repent for, but he still sort of has that attitude like, you got like sort of, oh, I anything to save myself sort of thing. So that's sort of what his ability is. He's sort of this really hostile and tyrant of a leader, but he yeah, that's about it really. So just a little bit of a tidbit, if you guys ever want to see a Garuda card, because I do actually have the design for Garuda, I just haven't made it into a card because I don't know how that would really work with the lore, but if you guys want to see that as a card, I will definitely consider it. That's all of the Bionoid warriors. And guys, sorry if I'm being a little bit quiet. It's pretty late right now. It's past midnight at my house, and I'm trying not to wake up my family. So now we have the 3 armament cards that are so far, and there's one more that I still need to do, I think. And then a few more Bionoid warriors. The 2 Bionoid warriors that are remaining are Mantis and Scorpion, and those guys are going to be something to look out for. They're going to be really cool. I think you guys will like them. So we'll start with Hornet Lance, because this is the first one I made. This is BioGear Hornet Lance. They all sort of have this, like, their BioGear, so it's, I tried to do the play on the name. So all of these have the ability that they can only be equipped to Bionoid warriors. So these bio gears are really only going to work in a Bionoid deck. So just keep that in mind when you're using them. So so this card can only be equipped to Bionoid warriors, and the equipped warrior may make one attack for every Bionoid warrior on your battlefield. This can be a really OP ability, especially if you pair it with like Drake and you have all of these other, and you have a bunch of other Bionoids on your field. I think I just heard somebody open a door, so I'm going to try and be a little bit quieter. And then, yeah, it really works if you have like Drake or one of these high damage beaters that you can use, and then just have a field full of Bionoids so they can make a bunch of attacks. Because you can have a maximum of, what, 5? Yeah, 5, I think, warriors on the field at one time. So, yeah, it's wonderful when you don't even know the rules to your own game, isn't it? Yeah, but you can have a total of 5 on the field at once, so you'll be able to make 5 attacks, and that's pretty OP. That'll allow you to wipe out the entire enemy field, which is pretty dang OP. Well, I guess if they have things, well, yeah, okay. But I'm going to stop rambling. We're going to move on to the second one. This is BioGear Eagle Gauntlet. This one's a pretty simple design, but its ability is pretty nice. This card can only be equipped to Bionoid warriors. The equipped warrior can attack past any card in a barricade zone. So it's sort of like Shark here with that ability that it basically lets you bypass barricade zones. And I hope you noticed that I did continue the theme with these armament cards where they sort of retain the ability of the animal they're based on. Like Eagle Gauntlet, you're flying over the barricade zone. Hornet Lance, you're stinging them multiple times. That sort of situation. I think that's a really nice novelty to the entire archetype, so I really like that. And then we have BioGear Wolf Fang Blade. Now this is one of the most OP, if used correctly, armaments in the game. Again, this card can only be equipped to Bionoid warriors, and then you can discard any number of cards from your hand to the void, increase the equipped warrior's power by 500 for every card that was discarded. So even if you only discard 2, you just gained 1,000. So it's really OP, but it's not. I still wouldn't recommend it because it's sort of these armament cards. The thing about them is that you really don't want, even though they're OP, you really don't want a lot of them in your deck because they're really bricky and sort of they really slow down the deck. I've noticed they don't really add as much as I thought they were going to. I mean, they're useful in a lot of different situations, but you could really just get by just running the Bionoids. So I might actually have to do something to make these BioGears even more appealing. Because when you let me give you an example. When you end up in the game, all you'll end up with is your low-level Bionoids, and then some of these BioGears that really aren't going to help. Like Eagle Gauntlet, it's not really going to help if it doesn't really help that much. And then Hornet Lance, this really doesn't help that much unless you have a lot of Bionoids on the field. Then it's really OP. It's sort of like these abilities are all more helpful when you have a lot of stuff to spare, which isn't really what Bionoids are about. So it's like, might not be the best idea in the world. So I would recommend probably if you plan on making a Bionoid deck when set 2 comes out, or just buy the starter decks, I will probably only include like 2 copies of each of these armaments in it, just because I want to try and keep it from being too bricky and slow. But if you guys, I would recommend probably only running 1 Wolf Fang Blade, and maybe I'd probably run the most Eagle Gauntlets, just because it's probably the most helpful in generic situations. But just a little bit of tidbit for if you ever decide to start building these decks. So that's about all I have for the Bionoids. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're feeling up to it. And if you want to see more of these videos, please tell me more of these types of videos where I showcase archetypes and stuff. Please tell me in the comment section down below. And again, I want to apologize for being gone so long. I'm going to try and get back into making more videos, but I'm getting off of Christmas break next week, so whether or not I can keep that promise is another matter altogether. But I also I'm going to be releasing another video pretty soon that will hopefully make up for my absence. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll come back to see the next video that I should probably upload probably tomorrow, hopefully. All right. Don't hold me to that, but I'll see what I can do. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.